If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference. Become a moment maker and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Without further ado, guys at home, Anthony, you're heard in 62 countries, 754 cities worldwide
It went
because,
up.
huh?
I think it went up.
We went up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was looking at it today.
Keep on, people keep on wanting to listen to us. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but because of this brainchild, because of what Fleek, this is all his idea. This podcast, this is all him. He asked me to be a part of it, to help it be his sidekick, be his comic relief. And I said, fuck yes, I'll help. And we have done over 140 episodes.
Yes.
We are 4 years old.
65 countries, 728 cities.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So it flip flopped. Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah. So, Anthony, you're going to be famous. So,
Growing.
without further
Oh man.
ado, guys, I want to introduce you to my buddy, Anthony Ferro. I've only met him a couple times. He's a 3'8" warrior, just like myself. Now, when I was getting out, he was coming in, and we had a very brief, like maybe a week of like knowing each other. But we've reconnected, and I asked him to be on this podcast. And Anthony, take it away, dude.
Yeah,
This
so
interview is all about you, dude.
yeah, which is not usually the type to make it all about me, but spreading awareness and just trying to get the word out there. So my name is Anthony Ferro, born in Connecticut, 1989. Spent pretty much my whole life there, and once I graduated high school, joined right out of high school, joined the Marine Corps, did my 4 years. Decided to get out, because I had a son, and I didn't want to miss that life because me and the mother broke up. So I did the college thing, got my bachelor's degree in communications, specializing in video production. Worked in New York
Nice.
City for a bit, did the video side of stuff, and I learned real quick that wasn't for me. I was not that it was too much politics, wrong motives. I did it because my sister was in the field and I had it in, and I like making videos. I still do, but it was a whole different. It was not what I expected. So it took some time, and then eventually ended up in North Carolina, where I'm currently at in Beaufort, not Beaufort, even though it's spelled the same. Pirate Town, which obviously a pirate little vibe look I got going on, and started this program at a dive shop that they accepted the GI Bill. So it took me from open water all the way up to instructor, and if you want to continue to master scuba diver or trainer, you had the choice to do that. So I did that, and then luckily got connected with this company, private company that, in fancy words that you could say, we are salvage divers looking for artificial or artifacts from old shipwrecks, or you could say we're treasure hunters. If you go to Florida or you've been around there and you're a diver, you know exactly what that means. Yeah, and that's pretty much in a summary where I'm at right now.
Dude, that was the quickest.
Yeah.
That was one of the quickest ones we've ever had on this show. Holy shit.
Well,
We
we'll
have so
go
much
into
time to
detail.
fill. No,
Yeah, it's
no.
just
Hey, Anthony. No. You. So, hey, where? Okay, you went to Paris Island, obviously, or
yes,
did you go
sir.
to San Diego?
No, Paris Island all day,
Paris Island.
East
What
Coast.
battalion?
I was golf company at 2106, 2007.
Hey, 2081. Second. Hey, I was
All
second
right.
battalion. Yeah.
Yeah, get some.
And what? And then after 13 weeks of hell, where'd you go?
SOI was Camp Geiger, so we did that, and then funny story. So when I was 17 when I signed that contract, and my parents didn't want me going infantry, so kind of had to tell a white lie with my recruiter for them to sign the paper. But like I was turning 18 that August, I went September 3rd, so if they didn't sign then, it was just delayed the process. But went to boot camp, did all that. 2 weeks while I'm in boot camp, my brother-in-law joined, but he went 0621 radio operator, which that's what I said I was going to do. And then, he did MCT, I did SOI. He went to schooling, and my dad started, he's not dumb. He started asking questions. Why are you still at this school, blah, blah, blah. So I finally told him, and I was like, don't tell mom. And then from there, I got dropped into 3-8. Best unit out there, or
Hell
that was
yes.
out there.
Damn straight, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You deployed?
Yeah, so got to the fleet in 2008. It was the colder months. So I want to say it was like February. Immediately got dropped into platoons. So I was India Company, 3rd Platoon, 1st Squad. I was point man for a bit, and then I got the opportunity to be the radio operator for the platoon and my squad, which was interesting. And then
Jesus.
so deployed like 6 to 7 months later, that November, we went to Helmand Providence, and then we were in Bastion for a little bit because Letterneck still wasn't a thing, and they were starting to build it. But I was in Bastion for about a week, and then my squad from my platoon was sent well, I forget what they call it, advance, or the people they sent early.
Ed Vaughn party.
Yeah, advance. So they sent our squad to Nowzad, which I believe 2-7 was there, and they needed some help. So I got introduced into combat pretty quick. So then from there we did Route 515 for the rest of it was about an 8 month deployment. Came home. We were home for a good bit, and it was over a year, and then we finally went on a MEU, which that was 2010 to 2011, and we were on the USS Kearsarge flight company, so we got to do some of that, but ended up in Afghanistan for the last couple of months because 3-5 was at that point combat ineffective, and they set not a record, but they've I guess you could call it that. I don't like to call it that, but they lost a lot of casualties in that December of 2010. So it was like recorded like one of the most. But yeah, that was good times.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That was
So
the 2-4 mu or the 2-6 mu?
that was 26 MEU. Yeah, which I believe you went on back about a couple years
No.
before that.
I went on the 2-2 on the same
Okay.
ship, USS Kearsarge.
So
Okay. Yeah.
what does that number represent? The 2-2 and the 2-6. What does that represent?
I believe it's the type of unit.
22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, and then there's the 24th, the 26th, the 31st, the 15th.
What are the differences?
It's
Just
zones, no? Like what sections you
I think so.
cover? Yeah.
You know what's funny? That's a really good
Yeah.
question, Fleek. I don't even know the answer to that.
That's the first
Alright.
time I've been asked that. Yeah, that's a good question.
We just were told it was a 2-2 mu, and then you guys went on the
Yeah,
2-6
you're
mu.
like, okay.
Yeah. Which I thought the Kearsarge was retired at that point. Apparently, she's been retired and reinstated a few times, but
Hey,
she's pretty
it's not
salty.
retired, man. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it in February in Norfolk. It's getting ready to deploy next year.
Is it a brand new ship though, or do they just bring it back out?
They've had for the Kears. Sorry, Anthony. They've
Yeah.
had like 6 different USS Kearsarges in its history, and the one that I was on was commissioned in '96. So it still is good to go. Um, it's probably on its last leg, like after this next deployment. Because when I was in Norfolk, I went right up to the Kearsarge, and like I touched its hull. I'm like,
Nice.
oh, hi, baby. Nice to see you again.
Did you
Yeah.
touch yourself while you were doing that?
No, I did not. Dude, they had me under armed guard. I was not gonna drop my pants while I was being like, hey, you know what? Just touch it and then leave. Mr. Farr, get the fuck out of here right now.
Should put on your scuba gear and start cleaning the bottom. You probably need
Yeah,
some.
dude. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I love scuba. I love it. I'm not gonna jump out of an airplane. I love scuba diving.
Yeah.
I just dove like last month. Um, I did like 70 feet. Not child's play. I mean, for you, Anthony, that's probably child's play. I mean, but they've got this dive. Like it's
Okay.
140 feet. It's like $450, and it's 140 feet off the
Okay.
coast of Panama City.
Okay.
It's this new dive they got. I want to do it. I'm swimming. I'm trying to get in shape for that because going 140, that's
Well,
fucking
it's a lot of pressure,
that's a
man.
lot.
Like at that point, you're at what, six plus atmospheres? Yeah, that's a good
You're
bit. But you're
six
just
ATMs.
yeah, but you're just below that 150 because once you pass that 150, then you get into like trimix and all that extended range stuff, which you can still get away with it at 140 something, breathing a certain percentage of nitrox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy knows his shit, man.
No,
Yeah,
dude, he's an
yeah.
instructor.
Well, yeah, I'm an instructor,
He,
and I'm
I mean, I'm just a rescue diver. He teaches people how to dive.
yeah. Well, that's like
So,
my side gig. Yeah, yeah. Which eventually I want it to be my main gig, but for work I'm doing technical diving, so that's a whole different world. You know, they'll even tell you it's like one of those like, you know, once you get there, forget everything you learned in recreational diving. This is now, you know, professional technical TDI. You know, secret squirrel. You know, trying to be stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell us about your tell us about that Comet action ribbon that you got that you just told me about like an hour ago.
Man, so it was December 11th, 2008. Me and, at the time, Lance Corporal Wellborn, I believe Nicholas Wellborn.
Nicholas Wellborn, how
Yeah.
are you, buddy?
What up, buddy? Yeah, we were having a conversation. We were talking about life, and you know, I'll never forget this. And he was talking about the time he got crabs, and it just worked out perfectly when he said, "Yeah, that bit gave me crabs." We just started getting shot at. And you know, you see like, you know, we're on post. You see the dust, you know, the dust go up and an hour like we call it over the radio and then, you know, what do they call it? Not the rule what the not rules of action or you know, when you're at
Rules of
war you have
engagement.
yeah, rules of engagement, you know, you had to get shot at
ROEs.
for at that point.
I know. It took a long time. We didn't use a lot of those in Ramadi either.
Yeah, so you know we're continuing getting shot at, and then finally I see him, and you know, and then Wellborn at the time has an M4 with a 203, and I just yell at him like, "Dude, shoot the fucking 203 at that!" But, you know, I called out the ad rack, and then he did it, and then from there now we're you know little fire battle, but there was Lima Company was out at the time, and you know they're maneuvering in, so they're trying to pin them down but shoot at us. And the way this place was set up, you know, we were right in the middle of this town, and it was a ghost town. I think they kicked everybody out, and if you were there, you were a bad guy, right? And then you get to this town, and they called it the Green Zone, which was just a patch of grass and woods. And then from there was mountains with caves, right? And that's where they would come from or go hide. And there was like a wall barrier there too. Once you pass that green line, that green zone or whatever they called it at the time. But you know, like once you got there, you're automatic. You knew you were going to take contact. But yeah, that was the first day, and then you know my staff sergeant at the time, which I didn't like. He was 20-something year of staff, so, you know, terminal staff, but you know, avoided, I'm not going to say his name, avoided, you know, the combat time and then came in pretty much when I joined. So he was ready to staff, so they gave him a leadership position and all that. But it's funny because we're in a firefight and then you just see him running with a Mark 11 because before that he was an 0321 Scout Sniper, and then he sets up and all that, and I'm a boot at the time, and he's like trying to aim in whatever, but they're 1,000+ feet. I forget what the max range for a Mark 11, which probably 8 to 800 ish,
Yeah,
right?
800. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then I have a 240 right next to me. That's how every post had a machine gun, mounted on it, and I kind of said something to him, and he didn't like that very much, so he sent me away, and then pretty much gave me shit the whole time, like, oh, you think you're salty now, blah 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 blah.
Dude, I know. Well, we're not gonna say his name, but I know exactly who he is because he tried to
Yeah.
friend me on Facebook like fucking last year, and I was like, nope, sorry,
No,
I
no.
got too many
So
friends. Sorry, dude.
I was the first person from India Company, me and Wellborn, to get our combat action ribbons for that deployment. So that was pretty special. And then with him at the time, even though he did some things that I'll remember forever, but it made me a better Marine. We train how we fight. You got to be able to trust me. I got the psychology of it and why we do certain things, and passing
Damn,
along tradition.
damn.
Well,
You talked to him? You talked to Wellborn?
here and there, man. I'm not sure he's on Facebook. I was off Facebook for a while, just out at sea, focusing on me. But we'll hit up once in the blue, see, checking on each other. It's
I'm
funny
gonna,
because
dude. I'm gonna give him a call after this podcast is
yeah,
done.
yeah. Send me his number,
I
man.
haven't
I'll
talked
give
to
him a
that.
shout.
I haven't talked to that boot in fucking forever.
Yeah, that's your boot, right? Yeah, that was my senior. Your boot.
He was on the Mew with us, and he was one of these. He's a great kid. He is, and now
Yeah,
he's an officer.
yeah. He's a warrant officer. Yeah, yeah. He
He's a warrant officer right now.
lapped over to EOD after that deployment. Yeah,
Yep, he's
yeah,
I can't. I'm not gonna call a warrant officer a boot, but I probably will.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can call him whatever you want. That's your
The
boot.
boot.
How many dives you got under your belt?
Yeah, it's
You
funny
stopped
because every
counting,
time.
didn't you?
Yeah, because you know how you go on charters, they pass around that waiver and they ask you your highest certification and how many dives when you check in. I just started putting like 1,000+ because think about it, for work, man. I'm out there for weeks, and it's all weather dependent. But if it's good for 2 weeks, we're out there. I'm doing at least three to five dives a day, and that's if I'm not
Jesus.
That's if I'm not bounce diving, and we're going to 120 feet at this specific location where we're doing some salvage work.
So
And
when you
yeah,
go out,
yeah. What was that?
when you go out, when you go out, do you stay out there or do you come back every day?
No, we stay out there. So so it's a ship, right? I always call it a boat, but it's 100 on paper 155-foot vessel with the mailboxes, aka blowers. You guys don't know what that is. It's these pipe looking things, cannons, where you drop them down and they go over the propeller and it creates a vortex, and it excavates the bottom of the ocean floor, which for something that's been sunken for so long, it's going to settle, right? And you usually get about 3 to 5 feet of sand that we have to move to get to rock bottom, because that's where everything's at, right? That's where you're going to find meg teeth, anything fossilized. And in our case, we're looking for treasure, which is gold coins and silver coins, or
For
anything
real?
that's shiny. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Damn, that's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. It's the coolest job I've ever had, man. I'm extremely blessed and lucky to get it. I've been.
Is this a private company or is it like some
Uh,
government
y-
thing?
yeah, it was private. It was private when I started. So I started about 3 years ago. He's starting to. We officially got our research vessel, like title. So we're officially a research vessel and now for hire, which they got things lined up with NOAA, Phoenix, which they're the company that does like ROV or AUV, which is, have you seen the Titanics, those robots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll take them out. They'll look for whatever. They're actually the ones who found the Titan, the submergible sub that imploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Those guys.
Did they leave that thing down there? Is it still down there, or did they pick it
No,
up?
they pulled it up. I'm sure documentaries are out, but I knew as soon as they said they lost communication, they were done. Um, so
So
could have been avoided, but that's that type of stuff isn't regulated by anyone, not the government, not Coast Guard.
right.
But I'm sure it will be at some point. But you got to have a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
What's the scariest thing you've ever seen down there?
Um. So I
Some
think this
shark ever
last.
go on you?
Well, I like sharks. I'm the guy who swims towards them, but as long as I could see, right? So this last trip we were out, there was a storm. So we get out there. So it looks beautiful at the surface. It's crisp, that blue, that offshore blue. Then you get to about 60 feet, and it got cloudy and cold. So you have thermocline. So it went from 73 degrees to 68 degrees, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a punch in the gut. And I'm wearing a 3 mil, and then and it's brown and cloudy all the way down to you get about 10 to 5 feet from the bottom, which is 120. So one of the very last bounce dives I was doing, I was looking for our anchors because we'll drop them right strategically and then use ones that we want. But when we leave the site for that trip, we take the polyballs off and drop the lines on a thimble because somebody keeps stealing our balls, our polyballs. So, one of us, which is me, goes down, finds it, shoots a bag on it, bring it up, or if I find it in 30 seconds, I'll just swim it up. Or, I usually have a scooter. But I was down there and, I could see probably 5, 10 feet, and I just saw a flash of white and then it took off. And I said, not today. And I shot, and you're supposed to come up slow, and I
Right.
push it. Don't tell my students that, but I know me, my body. I know the rules of scuba diving and what I can and can't do. And I'm also doing tech diving. So, it's not something you'll do in recreational.
Looky, no touchy, man.
Good
That's the
lord.
that's the rule when you're down there. Looky, no touchy.
Well, yeah. Well, in my case, I am touchy because I'm trying to recover some stuff. But yeah.
Man,
What?
about a year or two ago, we were talking to a Navy SEAL on the show, and he was telling us about like you'd be down there and you can't see because it's nighttime, and like shit's bumping into him. I'm like, hell no, man.
Well, yeah, at night and especially in the ocean, there's a shit ton of nocturnal creatures out there, man.
Yeah.
Like big ass octopus and whatnot, and I feel like things are more active at night there. So,
Do you have to
unless there's a, what was that?
do you go down at night? Do you go down at night when you're
Yeah, sometimes. I probably wouldn't go by myself, which I like what we do during the day. I say by myself, so you got to be. We're about 30 to 50 feet away from each other, but just far enough and an emergency was to happen, you got to know what you're doing and you can't really
right?
panic, which when you're doing tech diving and you get into decompression, which is a whole different world, right? You're building a
Ah,
ceiling.
yeah,
there's
it's the
no
decon stuff. Oof,
there's no
man.
bailout, right? And I'm wearing doubles, and I don't care how strong you are. Nobody's swimming or doing a CISA from 100 feet with doubles, right? You're gonna have to pop a bag. You're gonna have to know what you're doing, and so forth. But that's why you take care of your gear, rinse your gear with copious amount of water, and always be ready.
Yeah,
Do you
that's right.
you carry something with you in case something wants to attack you down there?
Yeah. So I usually have I'll have a knife on my leg, and I'll have one somewhere up here. I wear neoprene shorts, so I have some gadgets I got. But under when you're scuba diving, especially sharks, that's a thing you get into. Like what we see on TV isn't what happens, right? Certain
Yeah.
sharks, demonstrate certain behaviors, and knowing the type of species that shark is. So now if I see a bull shark, okay, now I know. All right, is he showing aggressive behavior, or is he circling? Is he hunting? Which usually sharks will come check you out, especially because the boat's making loud noises. They think it's a feeding frenzy, so they're going to be curious, right? I'm going inside their home. Now, again, until they're triggered, what we see on Shark Week, they're chumming the water and all that. That's when they go crazy. But, just always be ready and, be knowledgeable and know the species, especially if you're doing this for a living and you're working in their environment. But,
That just
yeah.
that just reminds me of a dive I did last year in Panama City.
Yeah,
Fucking, I'm down like 65 feet, and we're in this tugboat. We're going through. We're seeing all the really cool fishies, and it's really
yeah.
cool. And then my tank gets loose, and I'm like, shit. So like it's like it's still connected, but it's hitting my butt, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Uh-oh.
And so I take off my gear
There you
underwater,
go.
and I readjust my tank, which I was taught to with SSI. Thank you, SSI.
Yeah.
Put it back on, and continue to dive. I go up top. They're like, Andrew, did you know that there was like a shark like 3 feet from like where you were like fucking with your gear? I was like, nope, didn't even see him. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Do you know what type of shark it was, or
Well, what?
what type of shark, the species, or?
He said it was either a bull or a fucking thresher or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. It was big. It was a
Yeah.
big one, and
Okay.
I totally didn't see it. But I did see something cool on this last dive last month. The
Yeah.
biggest fucking grouper I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, you shoot him?
No,
Yeah.
dude, I was just going along, blowing bubbles, doing my negative buoyancy like this, and I look up and I see this shadow. It's
Yeah.
huge. I mean, I'd never seen a fish that big.
Was it a Goliath?
It was, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly, yes, it was a Goliath. Thank you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
those are
huge.
federally protected. Don't shoot that. You'll go to jail.
No, I know. I caked my head like this. I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's a big fish. And then I
Oh,
continued on doing my thing.
they're feisty too. So say you're spearfishing or you're lobster hunting. If you have a lobster, and they'll literally come up to your hand. If you don't let it go, they will bite your hand and all and take it from you.
Do
Damn.
you spearfish?
Yeah, here and there. Yeah, when I get a chance, I'm usually doing a lot for work, but yeah, I've spearfished, but I tried not to do it as much where I'm working because I'm not trying to attract
Yeah.
anything, which it has been done. I ran into a bull shark that way one time, which was pretty exciting, but luckily I was already coming up, so he didn't he
Well,
didn't care
Anthony,
about me.
I'm running a dive next year, and your name is on it again. Hopefully, you
Yeah,
can
I'm
go.
going, man. Yeah, so I think hopefully by that time, and I'm pretty sure you're by Destin, correct?
Yeah.
And that, so they're sinking the SS United States, which I want to go see. I want to go see before it leaves Bama, and they're making it an artificial reef in Destin, which will
Oh
now make
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's right. The big ship.
It will now make that the biggest artificial reef in our waters in the Gulf of America.
Dude, Panama City
Which
was trying to get that boat so badly, and
Yeah.
they just couldn't get it, and they
which
lost it
ship are
to
they doing?
The SS United States, I believe, or is
that's
the
that. Yeah,
SS?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, America or United? I think it's the United States,
It's
which
Amer.
was
Yeah. Hold on.
yeah.
come on.
Let me
It
check the
looks like the
phone.
Titanic. That's why I like it so much.
Oh, yeah, that's
Right?
United States. Good
Yeah, yeah.
update.
Is that what it is? You're already on it, Flea?
Yeah. Uh, historic ship prepares to be sunk. Golly, that
Yeah.
thing is massive, man.
It's
Good
not. I think
lord.
it's like 1,100 feet or something. So the way they're sinking it, hopefully it lands okay. At the very bottom, sand will be like 202 or 212, something like that. But you go to the top deck. I think it's like at 70 or 80. So recreational divers could do it, and then technical divers could go do their thing, like training and whatnot, penetrating the
Yeah.
wreck. Yeah, which
Jesus.
yeah, it's cool, man. I kind of saw it when we're coming from Tampa, the shipyard on the ship I'm at, and we're going down and going around the keys and coming up, and we're passing the tugboat that was pulling it, which at the time was a
Wow.
big thing. Yeah, there were like videos, and it was going viral on social media for a bit, in the dive community at least.
Uh, you
Have-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Flea.
oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you, have you ever had to get in the chamber thing?
Recompression
Chamber?
chamber? No, no, I don't plan on it. Have taken small hits, like a
Knock
shoulder
on wood,
hit.
baby.
Yeah. I try to I not try. I set myself up for success where I don't but you never know. You never know what's going to happen. That's, I think a reason why, a lot of veterans or military like diving, because, and the way I look at it, at least, when I'm about to jump in that water, you don't know what's going to happen, what you're going to see, so it's a rush, right? I chase the
Yeah.
rush. So that's my fix almost. But then it's, it becomes therapeutic the way you breathe, and it's good for you mentally,
Oh,
physically,
so much
improves
so.
blood
Oh
flow,
yeah.
so much. Which, that's it.
I mean,
As an instructor, eventually when I do it, and I kind of mentioned this to Andrew about, I want to start some kind of nonprofit organization and giving back to the veteran community, how it helped me. And, there's one certification I want to get, which will allow me to certify like amputees and people with disabilities of those
oh, the
sorts.
adaptive sports cert.
Yeah, it's like it's something like that, which I just have to do the course, but I do plan on doing
Yeah.
that. And then to be a scuba instructor, you also have to be an emergency first responder instructor. So, doing first aid, CPR, and all that snaz, which is Coast Guard approved, which is nice.
Do you carry Dan insurance?
I do, so I had to carry two and the membership. So I carry my personal insurance, which I pay for the Guardian, why not?
Yeah.
It's only about 200 and something. And then I have to pay for my liability insurance in order to be in teaching status.
Right. And that's
Which is
how much? That's expensive, right?
it's going up, that's for sure. I think I paid it was like 1,100, but I did a certain course, a safety course, where it brought it down to like 900, which isn't terrible, and it's good for a year, but it's not retroactive, meaning like, I'm doing this job on the boat and I'm gone for 4 months. I can't pause it and be like, hey, I'm back
Right.
now and you continue.
Yeah.
So kind of got to bite the bullet on that, which,
I was just going to ask you, when you go out on that boat, how long you go for?
so let's for this season, in North Carolina, we usually come during the summer or spring to about December. It's all weather dependent, man. So we'll
Okay.
park up, post up at Portside Marina in Moorhead, and if we'll read the window. Now, if it says it's good at minimum 3 days, we'll go out and work those 3 days. Or if it says 2 weeks, which is never really that. Like the max we do is about 7. That's just the right amount where you go stir crazy and you need to get back on land because you're running
Yeah.
low on stuff. Um, but yeah, that's you have your pros and cons. The con is you never know when you're going to be home, so it's hard to schedule and do things and social life and whatnot. See your kids if you have kids, family, and yes, and stuff in that nature, which takes a toll on you after a while.
Well, that's cool, man.
Do they pay you like a straight salary, or just when
Um,
you only get paid when you're diving, or how's that work?
I was working for trying to get salary, but I am technically an independent contractor providing my dive services, and I get
Uh,
a day rate.
I gotcha.
So yeah, which is it. They feed me, they buy groceries, somewhere to sleep. I sleep on the ship. I had my own room for about a year and a half, which was nice. Now I got a roommate, which is I don't know how I feel about it. But
That's cool, man.
yeah, dude, it's my little I call it like my room, my dungeon, right? There's no portholes, no windows, so
Dude,
it's
you're living the life, man. I wish I could fucking dive all the time. That'd be
yeah.
fucking awesome.
And I say it a lot to people. They're like, "Oh, you're like a pirate." And I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much like a modern day pirate, right?"
Yeah.
Which, I
You got the hair for it, I'll tell you that.
yeah, the hair. I've still got my tan going. I didn't think it was possible to tan anymore, but
Yeah,
man,
dude, some of your videos, like you have like a I mean, wicked tan.
I'm
I
in the
mean, you are
sun, dude.
like you're like black.
Dude, I'm going salt water to the sun. You're in the middle of the ocean to salt water, back and forth, and I'm usually just rocking silkies. I'm still representing in that aspect of it.
I'm wearing them tonight,
Dude,
just
I
in
got
your
them on
honor.
too, bro. Like right here, silkies up. Dude, that's what and I always tell people. Like, I'm always ready. Like, we'll go to the beach or whatever. It could be February or December. I have silkies on, and I will jump in that ocean right if it's cold out. I'll do it right when we're leaving. But I'm always ready, man. And then
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, when I was leaving, I heard when I was leaving 3-8, when I was
yeah,
going, my last fucking drive through the gates of fucking hell, and then I'm like, see ya, Camp Lejeune.
yeah.
Um, I heard a rumor, and I know it's true, but I was hearing a rumor that they were taking away the silkies. Now, were you wearing? Were you guys able to wear silkies up until like 2010, and then they got rid of them?
So yeah, so what happened? See that happened around the time I was getting out because they talked about it for a bit. It's the whole era of the tattoo thing and all that. Um, it wasn't that they did get rid of the silkies that are short, and so you had to wear PT shorts that at least went to your like above your kneecap. You couldn't wear the
Ah, terrible.
because there
No
there was too
way.
much complaints of all the dudes junks, Mothers Against America or whatever they call it, or there's too many complaints by female Marines that we were showing off our package.
Hey, they didn't mind in 2004 and 2005. I mean, come on.
Didn't mind back in the day,
Hey,
bro.
I still got my a green pair from the PX from the 7 Day store on Camp Lejeune that I bought in 2005, and they still fit great.
Mhm.
Well, you
Yeah,
should go
yeah,
back to my day when they didn't allow women anywhere near combat.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard stories, but I don't. Is that like are they officially they're integrated into the grunt units? No, or
Yeah, our old CO was the first battalion commander to have women in his infantry unit, and that was 1-8.
okay.
Remember Colonel McClam? Remember him?
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
He was probably, yeah, he was our CO in 2008. Little black guy,
I think he transitioned, right? Is that
Reggie
who's it?
McClam. Yeah, he's a colonel now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, I
out in,
remember him. I remember him. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
but he's a good guy. I like Colonel McClam. He's probably going to be a 1-star soon. I mean, he's probably going to be coming out of the Marine Corps with the way he's going.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. That's pretty
So,
dope.
Anthony,
Yes, sir.
do me a favor, man. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Make it a
Uh
good one.
Huh?
So make it a good one.
Yeah,
lucky
make it a
number
good one.
7. 7. 7.
Oh, Jesus.
A lot of people
Everybody,
pick
every one of our guests pick 7.
We haven't had a 7 in a while, so
No, we'll do it. Wait, Anthony, that's my lucky number. We'll do it. That's
yeah.
fun.
All right.
Number 7. What advice would you give to someone facing a difficult situation or feeling unsure about their capabilities?
So I would tell, the wisdom of what I've gotten over the years and giving back what was freely given to me. If they're in that situation, I would say they're stressing about, the unknown, which in our case is the future, and trying to control it. So, I don't know if you believe in a higher power or not, trust in them, pray a lot, and, just know it's temporary. And in due time, it's going to change, right? Life is a roller coaster. Doesn't matter who you are. Feel your feelings, talk about it, reach out for help. A lot of us are stubborn when we get out, or just in general, right? Marines, you can't go to BAS and complain. Um, but talk about it. There's help out there. Doesn't make you less of a man or make you a bitch. It's just we care, and before it's too late, we can't help you if you don't talk about it. So if you're struggling, chances are, well, not chances are that someone has went through what you went through. Just
Yep.
know it's temporary and trust in your higher power, whoever that is.
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, awesome. That was perfect, man.
Yeah. Hey, this is my
Bleak,
first podcast ever too, man. You guys broke the cherry,
Oh
so
yeah.
dude, hey, you're doing great, man. You're doing fantastic. You did awesome, man. Awesome.
yeah, dang,
Fleek, you
little
got any
technical
safe rounds
difficulties,
for
but What was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we work around them.
Yeah. Adapt and overcome, right? Like we said earlier.
Fleek,
What
you
was the
got any
question?
saved rounds for Mr. Ferro?
No, man, I'm good, man. Just, thanks
Anthony,
for coming
thank you
on.
so much.
Yeah, buddy, and
It's
I'll send you what
we're at.
I'm sorry, I'll send you what I
Sorry, go ahead.
can. I'll send you what I can, like pictures or videos of some artifacts we've found. That way, maybe post production or something. It's pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah,
You
no,
know, the
yeah.
his.
Send it to me or send it to Fleek, and I'll make a post about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll stick it in the show for sure.
Anthony,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Yes,
And
sir.
next year, you're definitely. I've got 2 people already signed up. You're one of them, and
Yes,
Philip
sir.
Prosco from remember Prosco? Do you remember Prosco? Kilo Company.
I don't believe so.
He was my age. He and I got out at the same time.
Okay.
But
But
he's
man,
going too. He wants to.
when you were getting
Huh?
out, I was just a boot. At that, I was even a boot. I was a shower shoe. I wasn't talking to anybody that had a Lance Corporal chaperone on or anything like that.
Was
Lay low.
was Micah Howard part of your boot drop?
Doesn't
Is
ring
he a
a
3.8?
bell.
He
It
was.
doesn't
He
ring.
was 3'8". He came in after I met him once before I left, and that's about the same time that Anthony came to 3'8". When did you
Yeah,
come? When did you come to 3'8"? Did you come to 3'8" after we got back from the meal?
yeah. You guys like just got back, not too. Like you guys got back, and there's people like transitioning out, like Sergeant Tommy or whatever his name. He was still with third platoon, but they were doing the whole checkout process. But I remember walking into the quad and everybody on the catwalk, and they're just whistling like
Yep.
fresh meat, and I was like, here we go,
Fresh meat.
here we go. So yeah.
Well,
Uh,
dude,
that,
this has
yeah.
been a real treat, man. I'll give you a call later this week. Fleek, thank you
Yep.
so much, man.
Hey, stick around while we shut it down. Make sure everybody uploaded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 2 seconds, Anthony.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See you
I got
guys.
you.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for
We'll see
having
you
us.
next week.